Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope I find you well. I hope you're in a good mood. I hope you're ready for some variety today on the streams, because that's exactly what you're going to get. Big variety. Today is Saturday, the 16th of January. Couldn't remember what date it was. Absolutely couldn't remember what date it was. That's pretty funny, actually. And I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you to my first of two gameplay streams for the day. And mixing it up today, as you know, the last week or so, I had many days where we were doing basically like double Ubisoft or all Ubisoft a day. Where I was playing Ubisoft games all day long. First, it was Assassin's Creed, and the night stream would be Immortals Fenyx Rising. Well, after doing that for about a week, you guys basically spoke up and were like, all right, that's too much. Too much open world, all in one day. We like variety, okay? So I listened, and this week, I mixed it up. So now we don't have the double Ubisoft day anymore. It's staggered, okay? So, today on stream, it will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla here on the first gameplay stream. And then the late stream tonight is going to be Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, okay? And last time I played Black Ops Cold War, it was quite good, quite fun, although laggy. But what are you going to do? The servers aren't great, right? And you guys got to put up with that, you know? So, I'm looking forward to more of that tonight. I hope that you guys will join me tonight for the Black Ops Cold War stream on the late stream. All right, tomorrow, I will resume my end game coverage of Yakuza 7. We are currently in the final area of the game, okay? And the good news about this is it's fun. It's been fun. It's been interesting. And there's an optional dungeon coming up that we didn't even get to do. I thought I was going to start it yesterday, but there's so much content in this game, we didn't get to do it. So we're going to start that tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow night is going to be the Immortals Fenyx Rising stream. So for those of you who've been enjoying the Immortals Fenyx Rising playthrough, I'm curious how it's going to go. All right, and here's why I say that. Basically, I've been playing this game, now for about a week as night streams. I think at this point we're about 8-9 hours in, something like that. Okay? And personally, I'm enjoying the game. Personally, I think it's a fun game, and it's chill. And it's interesting because it's an open world exploration, the parkour, the puzzles, the combat. The combat has actually gotten a lot better because I bought a bunch of new abilities now. So I'm enjoying it. But the first few streams, it seemed like people liked it. And then when I played this the other day, people just it was like a 50-50 split, I would say, where some people still were there for the chill fun, and some people were like, meh, it's boring. It's slow. It's a slow moving game, and we don't like it. And it sucked because it was actually one of the slowest streams for contributions and slowest streams for interaction that I've had in a very long time. And that's not good. You guys know when I stream, I want to be streaming something that interests you, that's going to keep people engaged. People are going to want to talk and hang out. Not, I'm only here just because for Phil, but this game stinks and is boring, and I hope that he plays something else right away. That's kind of the attitude people had the other day when I was playing Immortals. So, if that's the case, and if people don't get interested in the game, I don't have a commitment to have to keep playing it. It was, $40. So, yeah, it sucks that I'll be stopping it prematurely if that's the case, but I want to see what you guys have to say. Okay? I hope that you will check it out tomorrow night and give me your opinion. I personally like it. I think it's a great late night chill stream, but I'm not going to keep doing it at length if people want me to do other stuff. And by the way, there's lots of other stuff I could do, namely, Man-Eater is free on PS Plus this month, and that's a pretty unique game that I told you guys I was interested in checking out, so I could just start that up sooner rather than later, depending on what happens, all right? So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Then on Monday, it'll be more Assassin's Creed Valhalla paired with Black Ops Cold War, and that's the streaming week. I'm not here on Tuesday. It's my usual day off, but when I return on Wednesday, it is the premiere of Hitman 3. Yes, a new game, the first new game of 2021, Hitman 3 on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, Again, we're going to play it by ear because I don't know. Am I still going to be playing Immortals or not? I guess we'll find out come Wednesday. And so this next week will be a balance between Hitman and Assassin's Creed. Now, Yakuza 7 really depends on how far we get tomorrow. All right? Depending on how far we get tomorrow, it may still be a main gameplay stream. It may not be. It depends on how much we have left in the game. Well, I have no problem putting it on late streams. At the same time, I don't want to put it on a late stream, play for only 2 hours, and get stuck in the middle of a critical endgame cutscene, and now we can't finish the game because I put it on a shorter stream. You see what I'm saying? But likely, we will be completing Yakuza 7, if not tomorrow, which I don't think it'll be tomorrow. Likely 1 or 2 more streams this coming week, it'll be done. Okay? We'll finish it up and see the big ending. So, Hitman 3, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the conclusion of Yakuza 7, paired with late-night stuff such as Black Ops Cold War, my Throwback Street Fighter stream, and maybe more Immortals Phoenix Rising, unless you guys decide otherwise. And then maybe we'll start with Maneater. Okay? That's my idea for the next week or so for streaming. Now, by all means, guys, please continue to nominate your favorite moments from my 12-plus years as a content creator for the upcoming retrospective marathon event. During this event, we go down memory lane, we review things that I've done from the past, and in many cases, for the very first time, we watch them back together because I'm such a prolific content creator, I don't have time to go back and watch my own stuff. I put it out, and then immediately the next day, new stuff, new stuff, new stuff. If anything, here's something telling, all right? So yesterday, we talked about the year that was 2020 on Twitch, and I actually showed you guys my Twitch recap for 2020, okay? And to give you guys some perspective on this, all right? Going back and looking at what it said. In the year of 2020, I streamed 2,587 total hours. Guess what? The average person on Twitch who's a big person who makes a living doing it only streamed 1,000 hours. I know, because last night on social media, everyone was posting up their Twitch recaps, and all these people who said, oh, I gained 1 million followers in 2020, they only streamed about 1,000 hours. So I'm streaming 2 to 2.5 times as much as the most popular streamers on Twitch. That's why I make a living doing it. Because a lot of people say, well, how is it that Phil is able to make a living if he doesn't have nearly the viewership as everyone else? Because I work twice as much. I'm here 6 days a week full time, right? I don't take time off outside of 1 day a week to spend with my family and run errands. I don't have any vacations. You know, I'm just here every freaking day. I am, like I said, one of the most prolific content creators on the internet. That's why I'm still here, because I'm determined and because I'm dedicated to doing what I do. All right? So, that being said, with this retrospective event, finally I'll get a chance to kind of relax a bit, sit back and watch some of the stuff I've done over the years that you guys are going to nominate. So please do, all right? Please nominate stuff by typing !retrospective into the stream chat, or every 20 minutes or so, it'll actually pop up and allow you to just nominate stuff normally by having the link there on the screen. So please do this, okay? The retrospective's coming up. I'm going to be scheduling it for roughly the end of the month or early February, really dependent on what happens with these upcoming playthroughs. You know, how far I get into them, etc. If I can actually take a day in the middle of them to do the retrospective or whatever. All right? So, the more you nominate, the better this event will be. Okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 new things to talk about on the pre-stream today. I want to run these ideas by you, and I want to see what you think. All right? First of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you take a look at my Twitch channel, you may notice that I am at 97,000 and change followers, which essentially are subscribers on YouTube. It's the same deal. Basically, you signed up to get notifications for when my channel goes online, right? 97,000, okay? Now, in the year of 2020, and I know this because of the Twitch recap, I gained over 12,000 new followers. That means I was only around like 84,000 at the beginning of last year, and I gained a bunch during the course of the year. That's good, consistent growth, all right? I would like to possibly do a special celebration when we hit 100,000 followers, it's going to happen this year. Now, when will it happen? I don't know. It could happen quickly. It could take a while. It depends really on the games that are coming out, people who come by to watch said games, and then they follow the account. It's something that's going to happen naturally and organically. It's not something that we need to rush, all right? But what would you guys like to do for a 100,000 follower celebration? By the way, it's pretty funny. On YouTube, when you get 100,000 subscribers, that's when they send you your YouTube play button. So technically, this is kind of like the play milestone that everyone celebrates on YouTube, which I got 10 years ago. I'm finally getting there on Twitch. Okay? So the question is, what would you guys like to do for a special event? Like, what should we do? Should we play a certain kind of game? Should we just do an interactive, silly stream where we just kind of hang out and talk? Someone just said pizza party. Should I order pizza and we do pizza tasting live? Like, what should we do? I'm down for whatever. I think that 100,000 followers is pretty cool. And it should be, you know, a special event. I'm down for that. All right, I'm down for a special event. If you guys want one for hitting 100,000 followers, but I'm curious what you guys want. All right, so I'm open to suggestions. I'll be talking about this for the next few weeks. There's no way we're getting 3,000 followers in a few weeks anyway. I mean, it's going to take, if you do the math, if it was 12,000 followers in a year, that means roughly every 3 to 4 months I gain about 3,000. So I give it another 2-3 months, maybe by either spring or early summer, maybe I'll have 100,000 followers. Okay, so let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm open to your suggestions. Ripley Atomic wants a dance party. Cooking with the King. That would be hard to do because I would have to film it with my phone, and I'd have to cook live during the stream instead of playing games. Which, you know, if it's a scheduled event, that could work. But what would you want me to cook? You know, we'd have to see. Anyway, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. That might be not doable because sadly, you know, not having the equipment to do it or whatever. I prefer something in the office here, you know, work related rather than something outside of the office. But okay, so that's number one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, okay, I have an idea in regards to the upcoming Viewers' Choice event. Because when we do Viewers' Choice, typically, it's a big mess. A lot of people nominate random shit. That's kind of stupid. Let's be honest here. People have agendas. And, you know, the last few Viewers' Choice have been insanely long modern RPGs that take too long to finish. And I was thinking about this last night, and I had an idea. All right? Something that I think that the Viewers' Choice would be pretty cool. All right? Now, we don't have to do this. But listen to my idea, please. At least consider it. How about for the first time ever, all right, we do a retro replay Viewers' Choice event. So what does this mean? It would mean that the games that are being nominated for the Viewers' Choice is a game I've already played before, but not in the last 5 years. It would have to be a game from like I guess we could say early 2016 or before, all right? A game that's not a more modern game. And if this is the case, if you think about it, the reason this is cool is because this will give an opportunity for me to replay a game from the past that, number one, maybe people felt that when I played it, it was shit. My playthrough was really bad. You want me to see me do it again. All right? Because let's face it, 5-6 years ago, I was a very different gamer than I am today. Okay? All my content was very different. Or maybe it even could be a playthrough that I did before I even was doing like good quality direct capture and live streaming. And you always wanted to see me replay the game in higher quality. All right. What gave me this idea, all right, was last night, my wife put on some chill music to listen to, and she just happened to put on old school RPG soundtracks. And the game that she put on, well, first it started off with Final Fantasy X, and I was like, that's a pretty good soundtrack. But then it finished and it went to Chrono Trigger. And I was like, oh, man. You know, Chrono Trigger, much like Final Fantasy VI and other games, that's one of those games that I could go back and every few years I could play it again. Especially because Chrono Trigger has all these alternate endings. All right? And I was like, that would be a really cool playthrough to do again. Because when I did it a million years ago, it was during the summer of retro. And sadly, during that summer, a lot of people hated on my idea to do a summer of retro. They thought that it was bad that I did so many retro games back to back. A lot of people, I hate to say it, they don't give credit to the classics, and instead they just hate on them. So I remember playing the game and loving it, and then remember, this was back before it was a streaming deal. This was just a YouTube audience. The YouTube audience shat all over my old school playthroughs and were like, these are boring, play new games, right? And I was like, man, I just wish that I could actually go and do a playthrough of Chrono Trigger with an interactive audience that's there to actually enjoy the game, and we could talk with each other about the characters and the alternate, the plot line and everything. That would be really cool, all right? Now, as I said, all right, previously, one of the criteria I said for this upcoming Viewer's Choice event is no lengthy RPGs, right? That's true. Chrono Trigger is not a lengthy RPG by any means. Compared to modern RPGs that are like 40 to 80 hours long, Chrono Trigger is only like 20 hours long, tops, if you do the alternate shit. It's a short game, okay? So that's why I'm saying a game like that would be eligible, okay? Ancient Georgia said Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Yeah, that would definitely be eligible. Absolutely. So, any game that's like more than 5 years ago would be eligible. So we're talking stuff from like I said, I guess if you do the math, it would be like early 2016 or previous to that. Okay? Now, I could just imagine you guys nominating so many different games. The Batman Arkham series, right? Now, we just played Arkham City, but maybe I want to see original Arkham Asylum. Like Metal Gear Solid 1, which people have asked me for a while. I'm pretty sure I did that before, longer than 5 years ago, so that would be eligible. Again, some of the classic RPG, Earthbound or Chrono Trigger, redo those, right? I think that these would be really, really awesome playthroughs, okay? I do. I think that redoing any of those would be fun. And the good thing about this is, now that this event will have some direction. Instead of saying, just any game, just not a lengthy RPG, it could have, okay, let's have some direction. Think about the playthroughs I did in the past that you want to see me redo. Okay? Now, there is going to be one game that is off the table. Mass Effect 1 and 3 is off the table. Why? Because Mass Effect is about to get a remastered trilogy where Mass Effect 1 and 3 are going to be redone with modernized graphics and controls and running much better, which, by the way, I'm excited about. I was just thinking about this morning as I was watching the music play on the pre-stream, and I'm watching the music videos play, and it's my Mass Effect 1 playthrough. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how bad Mass Effect 1 was on Xbox 360. Like, the graphics were choppy as shit during combat. I was like, I can't wait to play that with actually, like, smooth, modernized graphics. That's going to be pretty cool. Okay? So that being said, that's what I'm thinking. No Mass Effect 1 and 3, but a game that's before 2016. I played it before 2016. That would be the criteria. Okay? But it has to be a game I've played before. So people are like, what about Jade Empire? No, I never played Jade Empire before. That would not be eligible. This is a retro replay viewer's choice event where I'm specifically replaying a game from the past. And the thing is, people will nominate games for different reasons. Maybe you thought my original playthrough of a game was terrible and you want to see me do it over from scratch. Maybe the original playthrough just looked like shit because it was my old style, filming and recording, and it sounded and looked bad. Maybe you just hated the fact that back then I was always immature with my commentary and you want to see me redo it in a more modernized setting with the interactivity of the stream to make it a little bit different of a playthrough. There's various reasons why people might want to see me play different games. Okay? So, if this sounds good to all of you, then I think this is what we're going to run with. The thing is, the nominations have not opened yet. Like I told you guys, we're going to get through the retrospective event first, and then I'm going to open nominations for the next viewer's choice. So, let's see. But if you guys like this idea, we can do it. All right? That's right. Dead Space 1 would be eligible. Earthbound would be eligible. Mega Man games would be eligible. Yes. All of that would be eligible. Yes. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? Yeah, if she said to play it in 2013, it would definitely be eligible. Yes. All these would be eligible. Nugget Hunter said this is a solid idea. Isaac says, how long on Yakuza and Assassin's Creed left? Yakuza, we're almost done. I would guess 2 to 3 streams tops, and we're beating Yakuza, but likely within 2. Assassin's Creed, I'm 50 plus hours in, and people are saying it's an 80-hour game. So you're talking still a couple of weeks of it being a mainstream game to finish it. No, I never played Kingdoms of Amalur. This is what you guys are gonna have to basically go to DSPGaming and also to Dark Side Phil. That's my original channel on YouTube from 2008 through early 2010. You're gonna have to go to those channels and search on those channels for playthroughs. All right. So all you had to do, you search DSPGaming and a game or Dark Side Phil in a game, and you should be able to find if there's a playthrough on YouTube for it. And if it's there, then it's eligible, but it has to be before 2016. Okay? Sound good? I hope that sounds good. I'm excited for that. I am. That'll be something different. Something that, replaying a game I played before and experiencing it with my modern setup, my modern capture, my modern streaming, interaction with you guys, new kind of commentary style. Will I even remember it? Oh my god, this right here sucks as wet. Who the hell remembers that game? Wet. The only reason I remember it is because it was one of my earliest reviews. It was a game that had come out and I reviewed it early on when I was doing game reviews. No one else remembers that game. Okay, so here's what I suggest you guys. Take this time right now and do a little bit of research, Search for older playthroughs, see if it's a game I played before 2016, and get ready to request and nominate, because the nominations will be opened in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, once we get through the retrospective event stuff, then this is going to happen. So it's the Retro Replay Viewers Choice Event. Pretty cool, huh? Very nice. Golden Cold says, what do people vote for Skyrim? See, that would kind of be the only game I can think of that I actually did do a full playthrough of back in the day that's insanely long. Because I'm trying to think, like, most of the games I used to play back then weren't very long playthroughs, right? Like, Skyrim was the exception where that game was super long. Everything else, games were much, much shorter back then. Very, very few. It's really the modernized playthrough, the modernized Assassin's Creed, the modernized Yakuza games, the modernized other RPGs that I'm playing. These games are 40 to 80 hours long. But besides that, most of these other playthroughs weren't super long, right? So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I would say we'll leave that open, okay? Cool. All right, guys. So that's my idea. Think about it. Work on it. And, I'll talk about it every day here on pre-stream, and we'll reconvene in a couple of weeks, basically. Once the retrospective stuff's done, we'll reconvene to figure out exactly how we want to set this up and start getting things nominated. Okay? Good stuff. Okay. That's really it, ladies and gentlemen. I am an independent content creator. That means that I am not contracted to exclusively stream on any platform and get paid for it. That means that I do not have any sponsorships with any company to shill a product. All right? I am truly independent. And what it means is that I, on every single day, can be honest with you. I don't have to pull punches when I'm reviewing a game or talking about a game as I'm playing it live. I don't have to watch what I say because I might upset a sponsor and get dropped. I don't have an NDA with any company to not say my truthful opinions on what's going on. Because I'm independent, I'm allowed to be myself. All right? And that's an amazing thing in the modern day, because most people cannot make a living without having to do some of those things. I'm very lucky that you guys crowdfund my streams and allow me to be me and not to be an edited version of me. And I really appreciate that, guys, because otherwise, things would be very different here. I feel, and you guys have told me this directly, that the reason that I've had such longevity, the reason that after 12 plus years I'm still here and still pertinent, I still have a viewing audience that cares and supports me, is because I'm honest. All right? And I appreciate that you guys like my honesty and you come and support that. All right? I just said, I stream twice as much as the other top streamers out there who are making ridiculous money and getting crazy viewers and followers. I don't get that. But I stream twice as much as them, so because I bust my ass, I'm able to make a living. All right? And I appreciate you guys supporting that. So, if you like my streams, if you like my content, if you like me, and you'll want to see this continue to be successful, okay? There are many ways that you can actually support those efforts. You can either cheer with bits, you can subscribe to my channel, you can gift a subscription to my channel, or you could tip me. In particular, in regards to subs, we have a new emote. I just added the DSP LOL emote. Shout out to Polish Frog who made the emote. People seem to love it. Last time people went crazy for it on the Street Fighter stream. They thought it was one of the best emotes I've ever added and really enjoyed using it. So, you know, many reasons to support the channel, many ways that you can get many things out of it, all right? Quite honestly, the way that helps me the most in the short term is tipping. When you tip me, those are funds I get immediately. Those are funds that I can use to put towards important things right away, like the cost of Hitman on Wednesday, like grocery shopping and other things that come up on my day off, etc. It helps with all that stuff. So if you have a choice in a method you'd like to support me, please tip me. That helps the most. But I still appreciate everything else. Cheering, subbing, those things help in the long term, and they keep the channel healthy and growing. So thank you to anyone who is even considering contributing today. Contributions are not mandatory on my streams, nor are they expected. All right? But they are greatly appreciated because that's what keeps everything going. All right? If you want to go above and beyond just being a standard stream viewer, thank you for that. My streams are free. My streams always will be free. That's how it works around here. But I do appreciate those who go the extra mile to allow the streaming to continue. Fair enough? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. First of all, if you're going to be a regular attendee of my streams and you're even considering contributing in any way, I have some tips for you to help you out. Number one, I strongly recommend you disassociate your Twitch account from anything else in your life, including your real life name or your online personas of anything else that you use, like Facebook, Twitter. Do not use the same handle. You've got to disassociate it. You've got to have it diversified. Why? Because sadly, there's scumbags on the internet who will harass you just because they can. Just because they can get away with it and be anonymous on the internet and get away with online harassment, they will do it. All right? And you don't want that. You don't need extra stress and harassment in your life because of some jerk who just thinks that, oh, it's a use of my time to do this. Okay? That leads me to my next point. I strongly recommend, if you're going to be here live on Twitch every day, turn off your open direct messages on Twitch. People abuse these all the time to hurt people. They harass people. They say nasty things. You don't need that. You know, there's no purpose to having open DMs. I strongly recommend there's an option where you can make it so only people on your friends list can DM you. That's probably the route you want to go. That's what I use, and I never have a problem with DMs because of it. Okay? Now, if you are considering contributing today, and if you are considering tipping me, as I have suggested, to help out in the best way possible, I'm going to ask that you go even one more extra step, if you could, and please create a verified PayPal account. What does this mean? It means that when you're going to tip me, you create an account on PayPal where you have your name, your address, and yes, even a bank account linked to it. Why? Because this verifies your identity for PayPal's purposes. It basically creates security both for you and me on PayPal. When you actually have a verified PayPal account, it has these protections in place to prevent fraud on both sides. Okay? Now, don't worry. If you create a verified account on PayPal, no, it's not going to get doxxed. PayPal legally has to protect your information. If you don't, you could sue them for millions of dollars. It's a privacy issue. They're a major corporation. They don't want to get sued. Don't worry. Your account is going to be secure. I won't see your personal information if you make a verified PayPal account, okay? Why is a verified PayPal account important? Well, like I've already mentioned, security purposes. If someone tries to commit fraud, PayPal protects you when you have a verified account. They say, no, that person's real, and, we're going to either buyer or seller protection, whatever you want to call it. That comes into play, and therefore people can't get scammed on PayPal, okay? In addition, in the last 4+ months, I have received hundreds of fake tips from someone who purchased stolen credit card numbers off the internet and used those to tip me. What this has done has created a monstrous amount of chargebacks against my account, meaning money that looks like it's there then gets taken back after the fact. Plus, it slams my account with all kinds of penalties and fees because of this, even though I didn't do anything wrong, okay? So that's why I've stopped accepting non-verified tips. I'm just not going to do it anymore. I can't do it because it's just too much risk involved of it being a false tip. So please understand that. if you are going to tip me, I strongly recommend you create the verified account. If you create a verified account, it makes everything so streamlined. Here's why. The tip comes in, I look at it, oh, it says verified, good. I give you a shout out, immediately I can add it to my running tips total and we can move on with the stream. If it's not verified, now I'm going to be like, oh, is this person on the stream? Was this really you who tipped me? Because this thing is, this person with the stolen credit card numbers has been impersonating other stream chatters in order to try to fool me into thinking that the tips are legit and then screw me over on the back end. So a lot of the times I have to sit here and say, oh, guys, are you here? Is this real? I have to verify. Please, it's worth it. It's worth the extra effort to create that verified PayPal account. And thank you to those of you who have done so in the last couple of weeks since I started talking about this every pre-stream. It has helped tremendously. If you haven't noticed, some streams, I don't have to verify anything. I'm just, wow, I know who these people are. Boom, boom, boom. We're good to go. No worries. And that's a really awesome thing. We're kind of getting back to where we were before the fraud started. Basically, it started like early fall. We're getting back to where we were before the fraud. Okay? So that's a good thing. All right? All right, good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's about it. Let's get to, well, there's one gaming news story today that's not really a gaming news story. Okay? The gaming news story for today is very simple. That same journalist, Jason, who has covered all these stories around crunch and controversy in the last year, basically interviewed 20 current and former employees of CD Projekt Red and has basically gotten this group idea of what happened and what went wrong with Cyberpunk 2077. And ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely nothing shocking at all. It's very simple. They were too ambitious with the game. They wanted to do things with the game that the dev team couldn't handle or the technology couldn't handle. They overpromised to people, which they shouldn't have done, right? Then they expected the dev team to crunch to make these unrealistic things happen, when in reality, there was no means to do so. Okay? Basically promised the world and then couldn't deliver on it because they had no realistic means to deliver what they wanted in the game. They showed tech demos that weren't representative of what the game actually was, so they lied, basically. And this is all management, by the way. This is not the developers. This is the really fucked up management who basically fucked the whole company over, including all the employees busting their asses to try to make this work by doing these horrible things. All right? Not good at all. Very stupid. But sometimes management is very stupid. I don't know what else to say. And basically, in a nutshell, the mantra that the management used during the entire development of Cyberpunk 2077 was thus: well, don't worry, we can make it happen because we put out Witcher 3. That's literally what they would tell the employees, who would tell them, no, we can't do this. This is unrealistic what you're asking. There's no way we could do it in the time frame. Why are you telling us to do this? And they would just respond, well, we made Witcher 3, so, you know, oh well, we'll get it done. Trust me, we're gonna make it happen. Okay? So, the bottom line is, it's exactly what we thought. CD Projekt Red is not any better than any other company out there. Really, they're just not. They acted like they were. They pulled the wool over everyone's eyes with interviews where they claimed that they weren't going to crunch and all this shit. They're liars. The management's shit. The management of the company sucks shit. And in reality, when you look at a game like Witcher 3, I tend to believe that it was the outstanding skill and quality of the individual game devs working on the game and not the management who happened to make that game as good as it was. And quite frankly, maybe they were lucky. Maybe they were lucky that they actually pumped out a game that was that good with the management team that bad. All right? And we already talked about the roadmap and the apology video. I'm not going to go into that again, but I'm sorry. You know, I think this is the end for that company when it comes to anyone trusting them. Like, I don't believe a word the management says. I think they're full of shit. When you've completely lied to us multiple times over and over and over in the last year, now you expect that we're going to believe that you're being honest and truthful with things that you're saying. Like, horseshit. No, I don't believe that it was the QA team that missed all the bugs on the console versions, and that's why the console versions were released the way they were. I think it was the management being a bunch of shitheads, and forcing things out that weren't done, over-promising, under-delivering. It was them. It's 100% on them. And I hate to say it, they should not be in charge. The shareholders should collectively get together and say, this management team is garbage. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. We want them out. And get a new management team in there to run the company better. Because they have completely destroyed the company from the inside out, right? So, that being said, everyone, are we shocked? I'm not. I'm not shocked. But that's really the only major gaming news. Now, some of you were asking for a follow-up. Some of you were asking for a update on the whole situation that we talked about yesterday regarding safety and death threats against me and stuff like that. There really isn't an update. The update is thus. I called the police yesterday. I filed a police report. I gave them all the information. I forwarded, the threatening emails to them, and they reviewed all the information and basically came back to me exactly as I said they would. They said, all right, there's nothing we can do because it's an anonymous email address. We're not going to get anything here. We're not going to be able to track this person down. But if there's any further escalation of the situation, like if I get further emails that seem even worse, if I start getting phone calls, if I start getting creepy things happening in person, you know what I mean? Like any indication that this person is actually coming by my house, to contact them immediately. They already have an open case file for me to follow up. And they said, if any of these things get worse, all right, they will open a case and get a detective involved. But just emails, there's really nothing they can do because it could be anyone just anonymously sending me these emails. There's no detective who's going to be able to find out anything about that at all. What can you do? It's exactly what I said. And they said exactly what I said yesterday on stream is exactly what they told me. Be safe. Keep your windows and doors locked. Keep your alarm on. Be ready. Have the panic buttons ready in case someone's trying to break into your house. Be ready to hit the panic button and or dial 911 right away and have a plan. And I have a plan in place. Someone breaks in, we all go to a certain part of the house and defend ourselves until the police show up. It's all you can do, That's the best you can do. And I don't live in fear of this happening. I don't. Maybe one day it will happen. I hope it doesn't. To God, I hope it doesn't. I hope no nut job comes here and tries to do anything crazy. I don't want to have to. Here's the truth of the matter. Yeah, I'm afraid for my family, obviously, but I'm also afraid that I might have to fight and hurt someone, which I don't want to do. I'm a non-violent guy. I don't want some crazy person coming into this house out of their minds, loony, and now I gotta fucking fight someone and hurt them. I don't want to do that. I've at least the furthest that I think that I'd ever want to do is have to get into a physical altercation with someone and hurt them because they're crazy. Okay? So, it is what it is, right? I've done everything I can. I've taken the precautions, and hopefully there will be no further developments. Hopefully this person is just some fucking person trying to scare me, and, I'm not scared. I've taken the precautions I can, and that's all you can do. The police are aware, so if anything further follows up, I can call them immediately and say, something serious is happening, get here right away, and they're ready to come. They said, if anything serious happens, we're ready to show up, because now you've notified us ahead of time. We know it's not a crank call or whatever. We're ready to come over here whenever you need us. So, we're good to go. All right? And that's it. You're not going to hear any further follow-up from me because there's no other follow-up. There's no reason to even continue to talk about it. People like this, all right? People like this. The reason why a lot of them do it is because they want to terrorize. They think, if I do this, I'm going to scare this person and make them feel like shit, right? So, I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it every day. I'm just going to say, well, it is what it is. And now we move on. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let us get to shout-outs, shall we? Let's get to shout-outs. And we'll go from there. Alrighty then. So, thank you guys who have contributed this morning. Let's give shout-outs to those who've contributed. We start off with Narcissist, who resubscribed for 15 months overnight. Thank you, Narcissist, for the overnight resub. Excuse me. The first The first cheerer of today is Golden Colts. Let's get Golden Colts up here on the leaderboard, and we'll read what he has to say. Not jeerer, cheerer. Okay. He says, do you ever enjoy soda with dinner? Do you think it's childish to have instead of a real drink? Sometimes a 12-ounce can of Coke is what a doctor ordered with a meaty dinner. It really, to me, it depends on what you're having. Like, if you're having something like burgers or something that's more fast foody, pizza, right? I think soda actually goes with it really well. Um, but no, typically at dinner I don't have soda. You guys know I usually have cherry juice at dinner. Reason being, because I have health issue with my body, where my uric acid levels are unnaturally high. It's a genetic thing. It runs in my family. I didn't know this, and then sadly, back in 2015, I found out about it the hard way when my foot swelled up, and I got some of the worst stabbing pain of my life when uric acid crystals built up in my foot, and I had to go to the doctor. Couldn't walk or nothing. It was insanely painful. Okay. So that being said, um, now that I know about that, I've had to make lifestyle changes. I eat way less red meat and way less shellfish. I watch my diet. I try to balance my diet. Most protein I eat is usually just chicken. And some of the things I do, like I drink cherry juice. And apparently cherry juice has the ability to balance and lower the uric acid levels in your body. So it's one of the things I do. I have 1 glass a day at dinner. Okay? But every once in a while, if I want to do something different, yeah. If there's something that I'm eating that I feel it makes sense, it pairs well with a soda, I'll have it, but it's very, very rare. I actually drink very little soda. So, Phantasy Star PG cheered and said, I gotta say, Bethesda's looking better under Microsoft with the Indiana Jones game coming, and Arcane Games is making a new IP after Deathloop. Well, I think that Microsoft games will not match Sony games in quality. The good caveat is, with Game Pass, you'll have a lot of games in the rotation coming back-to-back from Xbox first and Xbox second-party studios. But I hope to be proven wrong about the big games only being 10-hour gameplay experiences due to the shared budget between studios. Yeah, the thing is, we just don't know yet. It's too early on. These studios are either just freshly purchased, or actually, in the case of Bethesda, still in the process of being purchased by Microsoft. So because of this, we don't know what's happening. Game dev time can take years and years. You're talking about some games can take 5+ years or more to come out. So if these studios just got bought by Microsoft and are just starting to work on new projects, we might not even see the first games for many years. So we don't know what to expect. I do hope for the best. I hope, I've said this to you guys many times. Competition breeds improvement and innovation. When you have direct competition for anything, whether it's market share in a certain kind of business or in anything technology, what happens is people compete and have to do better, and they will constantly try to improve and do something original and do something interesting that the other guy isn't doing. So if Microsoft is actually pumping out quality games from their exclusive game studios, all right, that means Sony will have to step it up, right? And that's what we want. We don't want these game devs feeling lazy and feeling like they're on top so they don't have to do much. We want innovation. We want better games. We want new stuff that's going to blow our socks off, right? So, that's what we need. And so I'm perfectly happy with Microsoft actually being able to pump out great first and second party games here. Keep in mind, we're in a very unique situation right now with COVID, all right? Never before have we been in a situation where video games are this popular, all right? And, the truth of the matter here is that I feel if this were not a COVID situation in this world, that maybe we'd all be able to get the new consoles, right? Like, if you take a look at PlayStation 4, Xbox One, there was no ridiculously long period where we couldn't get them. And they were just as in demand. Like, people wanted those consoles. Yet, here we are, over 2 months after the release of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and no one can buy them. Every time that there's more released, you can't get your hands on them. These fucking scalpers get them and shit, right? So, I think eventually, maybe by the end of this year, I don't know, these consoles will be widely available, and when they are, now it won't be an issue of, I can only play the games that are exclusive to my console that I was able to get my hands on. If you were able to get either one at all, it'll be more of, okay, now everything's readily available, so now it's fair game, right? And I feel that then, you see, right now, when you say, a Sony exclusive game, a Microsoft exclusive game, big deal. No one can get the console, so it doesn't even matter. It's not even a matter of console wars anymore, because there's just not available stock to play the games, you see? So I look at a game like the Medium that's coming out this month, like, not a lot of people are going to get it. Because no one can get the console. You know? So, you know, long term, I think that the exclusivity of these games will be interesting to see if Microsoft can become a major competitor with Sony in that way. But for the short term, I don't even think it's not even a situation we have to talk about because the consoles don't even exist yet, right? We can't get them. So, okay, hold on one second, everyone. Should I open my blinds? I'm trying to debate if I should open my blinds or not. Give it a go. Give it a go and see what happens. Alright, we'll see what happens here, I guess. Alright. No, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, man, I would really like some natural light and some more cool air today in the office. I have my blinds down. But if the sun comes out, then it's, you know, pain in the ass. So I hope the sun doesn't come out. I hope it stays as it is right now. Right now it's overcast. So, all right, Fantasy Star PG cheered again. He says Nintendo hates seeing its IPs used outside of games that they develop. They take down fan-made work. So I wonder how Nintendo feels about seeing games like Temtem and Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm sure they're not too happy about it. At the same time, there's not much they can do because those are derivative works. Those are not, oh, I actually stole your intellectual property and I'm using it for my own purposes. It's not Zelda Breath of the Wild spin-off. It's a game that uses all the gameplay elements from Zelda Breath of the Wild, but is definitely a unique and different game. See? So, unless they can directly prove that something was copy and pasted, stolen from the code of Breath of the Wild, they can't do shit. Alright? With Genshin Impact. Temtem, I mean, yeah, it plays like Pokemon, but it's definitely not Pokemon. It's totally new monsters and stuff. So again, there's nothing they could do about that. Okay? So, I'm sure they're not happy, but they have no power. Robot Wizard cheered. He says, thanks for conversation in chat. I'm having a rough day and appreciated that. Thank you. No problem. I was chatting it up with a few people on pre-stream. I think that's what he's referencing. Thank you, Robot Wizard. Do the top cheer of the day. With a 201-bit cheer. Thank you for that very much. Golden Cold cheered. He said, Gamer Alert. Nestle has... Nestle. Wait, Gamer Alert. Nestle. What? He says, they've recalled millions of Hot Pockets. Pepperoni flavor. Possible contamination with plastic shards. Check the internet before you eat any pepperoni Hot Pockets. All right. I don't eat Hot Pockets. They're disgusting, and they've actually... The last 2 times that I ate Hot Pockets, I got sick to my stomach and couldn't even sleep. If you remember, there were streams I missed. Because I ate a Hot Pocket at night, and I got sick. I had, like, food poisoning. I couldn't sleep, and I was like, oh my god, I can't stream today. That was many, many moons ago, by the way. Many years ago. To the point where I completely wrote Hot Pockets out of my diet. I said, I can never eat these again. They're so bad for you. So, all right, Atlas Telemon is the first tipper of today with a $2 tip. He says, do you think most viewers get that? 1, you don't often play your mains. 2, you get counterpicked often. 3, lag city. And 4, lots of opponents use turbo controllers against you. On top, you do commentary and you still win most matches in Super Turbo. Do I feel that most people watching me play old school Street Fighter once a week get that? No. When I play Super Turbo, I purposely use bottom rung or middle tier characters to challenge myself because number one, if I just played my mains, for example, Vega, Balrog, DJ, if I just played them nonstop, I would likely win almost every match. And I'm not talking like just win overall. I mean, win easily. Those characters are very, very crazy powerful in that game. And if I just constantly played my top characters, I wouldn't have any competition. People would likely just quit the lobbies and say, fuck this, I don't want to play this guy anymore. Okay? I don't want that. I want to do a variety of stuff so that when I play it, it's challenging, it's fun. And the thing is, when you play a variety of characters, you learn. You actually learn. And I'll be honest, have I learned a ton? No. But every once in a while, I learn something, you know, playing Fei Long versus Honda. I'll learn something I didn't know before. I'm like, oh, okay, that beats that. Cool. Because I don't play those. I mean, when in competition, you know, I never really played those characters. And so being able to mess around with those characters like that online is fun. That's the time to do it. You're not in a tournament. In a tournament, you don't pick a low-tier character you don't know how to play with to try to win. You do it when you're doing casual play, like, you know, doing these sessions once a week. Okay? Now, you're right. Online, some of these guys are tryhards. I'm going to counter pick immediately. You know. And case in point, last night, there was a Honda player who absolutely was using a turbo controller. He was getting 100 hands immediately, like, just, whoop, 100 hand slap, 100 hand slap, 100 hand slap. Not even a whiffed punch or nothing, just every fucking time it will come out. And we're not even talking, like, the light or medium version. It's always the fierce punch version. Like, this guy definitely is using a fucking turbo controller to cheat, you know. And you might argue, well, it's not cheating. I mean, yeah, it is. In competitive play, they don't allow you to use a fucking turbo controller. You have to use manual inputs, which is how the game was intended to be played. But you're doing casual play online. People are going to do whatever the hell they want. And nothing you can do about it, right? You just got to put up with the cheating nonsense. So, you know, yeah. When I'm playing my throwback Street Fighter sessions, it's not necessarily representative of competitive play. There's a lot of factors involved. And yes, a lot of the time I'm massively challenging myself in order to try to make it more interesting for me and for the viewers. Because if I just played my mains, I would probably almost never lose. And what's the point of that, right? Why do I want to watch full play if all he ever does is win? That's not fun. So thank you for the first tip of the day, Atlas Telemann. I appreciate that. Captain Caveman did 100-bit cheer. He says, order up one of the sane host people to sit next to you. What? Captain Caveman, I have no idea what you're talking about. What is that a reference to? I have no idea. Anyway, total score and cheers at Metal Gear Solid 4 or Cyberpunk 2077 glitchless run. No, not Cyberpunk. That ain't gonna happen because it's a new game. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4, right? I played that a long time ago. Now I know I played it again. Well, no. Hold on a second. I played it when it was a new release. That was before I was a YouTuber. I played it offline, you know, as my own playthrough. Then years later, I did play it as a full playthrough on YouTube, but I'm almost confident that it was way early. Like, that was a long time ago, right? So I'm pretty sure that would qualify if we're talking about this idea for a retro replay viewer's choice event. Yes, I'm pretty sure Metal Gear Solid 4 would be able to be included. The only problem I have with that, as you guys know, sadly, it has so many cutscenes that the playthrough would probably, if I was just gameplay, it would probably be like 12 hours long, but it would end up being a 30-hour playthrough because of the cutscenes. Ugh. Oh, stretch. Okay. So I got a couple tips here, and I need to verify that they're real. The name in particular, I don't recognize as a regular. Let's see here. Let's see. Oops. Oops. Try that again. Let's try that again. Okay. I think these are real. Just gotta verify. Yes, okay. So I received 2 tips. The first tip from Game Edge 1 is a $2.30 tip. Let me get this up on the leaderboard. Hold on. So it had beaten Atlas Telemann for top tipper, just like that. Okay. Oh my God. That is absolutely, positively disgusting. I'm very sorry, everyone. I didn't expect that. It came out of nowhere. And I'm as revolted as you are. I think I'm going to go vomit somewhere. But anyway, Game Edge, thank you for the tip. He asked the following. Might be a weird question. I don't know if you want to go into full detail on pre-stream. Remember the band Raw and that song, Do You Call My Name? Why do you chose that song for The Hateful Truth, and are they your favorite band? Do you still listen to them? What's hilarious about this is, first of all, I haven't used that. When was the last time I did anything like that, right? We're talking many, many years ago. But in regards to The Hateful Truths and that song, that was a song that I liked a lot, and it actually has a beat that's very similar to that rap song from Nas, Hate Me Now. The beginning of it, anyway, if you listen to the, if you listen to the guitar riff, it kind of sounds like the same riff from that song. And there was actually a time in the past, I edited, back when I actually did editing, I edited 2 songs together it was like the beginning of that song "Hate Me Now," and then all of a sudden it would go into the Raw song, which was pretty crazy. The way I did it. But I thought it was really cool for a video like that. I thought it was something unique to use. There's nothing in particular. And no, am I a huge fan of Raw? No. I think I know 2 songs of theirs. That song, and there was one other song. I can't remember what it was. It was like Fallen Angels or something like that, I think it was called. And that's it. I didn't own their album or nothing. It was just a song I liked. No story behind it, nothing. And the thing is, that song, I haven't heard that song in like so many years. I don't do that stuff anymore. I don't use their music, so I don't know. I don't even know anything else about the band. Game Edge now did a $3.30 tip. So another tip, and it's a bigger tip. So I'll just update the leaderboard here. What the? That was not what I wanted to type. Now, come on now. Come on now. Okay. Now this question. One more question. What I do depends on what you say. I have unnecessary loans. No. I have unnecessary bills, loans, and credit cards, and I have the money to pay it off. I want to save until I do that. Should I pay them all and be done, or save more and then pay? Huh? What? Let me try this again. I have unnecessary bills, loans, and credit cards, and I have the money to pay it all, but I want to save more till I do that. Should I pay them all and be done with it, or save more and then pay? Okay, now I think I get it. The answer is simply put, depends on your situation, which I don't know. And it also depends on things such as the interest rates on what you have there. So, for example, if you have a loan for a car, that's a set interest rate, okay? That means that when you took out that loan for the car, you agreed to a certain interest rate, and maybe that interest rate will go up and down depending on the market. Right now, the market is rock bottom because of COVID. So, in reality, you're paying the least possible that you would be paying ever on that loan right now because of COVID. But chances are, the interest you're paying on that loan is probably fixed, and or very low. Not a big deal, okay? So, loans, typically, whether or not you pay off a loan today, all right, or you pay it off over time, 30 years, usually doesn't matter. Usually, you're going to end up paying about the same amount no matter what, all right? So, for example, I have a mortgage on this house that I live in. If I were to pay off that entire mortgage today versus paying it off over time, there's not a giant benefit to that. There's just not, okay? Now, it'd be nice to say, oh, the house is in my name now. I don't have to worry about paying a mortgage anymore. But there's really no giant benefit to it. The only thing that would be benefit, if I had a variable rate mortgage on this house, and all of a sudden in 2 years, COVID's gone, and interest rates skyrocket into the sky, now all of a sudden I'm paying way more interest on the house. Yeah, then it would benefit me to pay off the house when it's a lower interest rate, so I don't have to pay all that interest over the years. Okay? But in reality, most loans, that's not what happens. Most loans, you end up getting a relatively low interest rate or a fixed rate, and it's not a big deal at all. Okay? However, credit cards are completely the opposite. All right? Credit cards are way different. All right? They have what's called compound interest. What it means is you have a balance on your card. They charge you 1% of that every month. But then the next month, they recalculate the interest based on the new balance. So if you have a credit card that has $100 charged to it, and they charge you 20% interest, right? Next month, they're going to charge you 20% interest on the $100 plus the interest from the month before if you didn't pay it off. So a credit card can literally keep generating revenue for a bank over and over and over time. And if you just do minimum payments, it's possible you will never, ever pay down a credit card. All right? Now, the federal government actually put stuff into place, all right, where they made it so it's not that bad. They were so scummy, these credit card companies. They would have you paying minimum payments, and then your credit card bill would go up. Think about that. You're paying your bill, and your bill goes up every month. So the federal government got wind of this and said, no, we can't have that. This is like complete scamming people. So they made it so that if you're paying your minimum payments, as long as you're not charging more money on that card during the course of the month, it'll eventually go down. Okay? But that only was federal regulations going there. But if you have credit card debt it always benefits you to pay off credit card debt as soon as humanly possible, because that interest is the highest interest you can get on any kind of a loan, any kind of credit at all. Credit cards are always the most profitable for a bank. Okay? So, if you have tons of credit card debt and you can pay it off right away, pay it the fuck off right now. All right? Loans, it depends on the kind of loan, and in general, paying off loans right away doesn't really benefit anyone. However, another factor that you should consider is your own financial situation. You don't want to empty out all of your finances in order to pay off all of your creditors, and now you have nothing, no money, no liquidity. What happens if your car breaks down? Right? Oops, I spent all my money. Now what's going to happen? You got to go rack up your credit card again. You see? Which you don't want to do. So you want to have it so that you're not completely emptying out all of your assets just in case something happens and you need to have money to spend on something. You still have that to fall back on. You see? That's right, Caught a Fade. It is a vicious cycle. Now what's funny is, you may be asking, why am I asking Phil for this financial advice? And, how does he know all this? He declared bankruptcy last year. You're right. My situation was pretty unique, where I completely overspent when I moved here 6 years ago. Okay, actually at this point, 7 years. Oh my God. 7 years ago? Holy shit. Wow. Anyway, I completely overspent when I moved here 7 years ago, expecting that my level of income was going to be the same as it always was going to be. So I racked up all my credit cards, I racked up loans, I racked up all this debt. And then my income plummeted and I couldn't continue to pay down the stuff like I had originally planned. I had originally planned to pay down my debt in a big way. I got to the point where I could only do minimum payments. I was taking out my 401k and stuff to pay minimum payments on everything. It was a nightmare, which is why I had to eventually declare bankruptcy last year. Okay? Very different situation. It's, I know financial stuff. I went to school for it. The problem was I backed myself into a corner in a really bad way. And now, thankfully, I am building my way back. It's going to take a long time because now I have no credit. It's probably going to take me another 9+ years to get credit back. But I'm building myself back up. And I'm in a much better situation now, thank God. So, okay. Anyway, let's continue. Fan of Pop Cheers, are you excited for Persona Scramble? No, I'm not playing it. I can't play it because Atlas sucks. I hate to say it, not as a game dev, but certainly as a publisher and a company that manages digital rights on the internet. When I was playing Persona 5 as a new release, I followed all of the criteria that Atlas laid out for streamers and content creators, and they still hit me with copyright strikes. And I asked Atlas USA, why did they do that? And he said, it wasn't us, it was the Japan branch, and we have no idea why. They apparently aren't even following the guidelines they told us to relay to you guys. So I had to stop playing Persona 5 entirely, and I couldn't even play it again for another year. Alright? Atlas is the only game publisher out there that has these insanely strict criteria, and then on a whim, they'll just hit you with copyright strikes anyway. So guess what? Fuck them. I'm not wasting time with Atlas. I'm not taking any risk. Fuck Persona 5 Scramble. That's my attitude. Fuck them. It's their own fault. I don't care about their shit anymore. They fucked up. They need to be a better company, and they've shown absolutely zero improvement. In fact, when they announce these games, these Persona games, they go, oh, you can't show any cutscenes. You can't do this. You can't do that. Fuck you. Then fuck you. I'm not playing your game. Seriously. Go fuck yourself. You're the only company that has to be stupid like that, so I'm not playing your shit. Noxina 2 cheering and says you should retire the normal Viewer's Choice events. It's pretty clear you don't like how it works. Do themed Viewer's Choice events from now on. It'll give you control what you want over what people can pick without anyone getting upset. Well, maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe we will. Listen, I'll be honest with you, Noxina. I didn't have an issue with Viewer's Choice until the people voted for the same kind of game like 3 times in a row. Like, I can only play so many 80-hour RPGs, guys. You understand? Like, okay, Fire Emblem Three Houses, I never played the game before. I didn't know anything about the franchise, in regards to what it was going to be. Was it an experience? Absolutely. But it took me 5 months to beat it. All right? And that should have been enough of a example for us to know that these lengthy RPGs are not going to work for Viewer's Choice. What do the people do? They vote for Divinity Original Sin 2. It's like, you didn't learn. You didn't, You're asking for the same. Now people will complain once I start playing the game. Why is it taking Phil so long to beat this game? Why still playing this game 5 months later? Because it's that fucking long. What do you want me to do? I didn't make the game. I didn't vote for the game. Do you see my point? So I think that maybe doing these themed things are going to be better because it's going to allow us to have more reasonably length playthroughs, things that are more timely. Like right now, I think it would be really cool to do something from the past, right? Rather than, oh, another game I never played that's 80 hours long. Okay. Let's see here. Alice Telemon tipped me another $5 tip. He's now the top tipper of the day. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Whew. Let me go ahead and put you on the leaderboard before I read what you're saying. Okay. All right. Thank you for the $5 tip. He says, I'm sorry to hear about your recent story. I don't think it'll come to anything. You did pretty good with contacting the authorities, and many people don't know that you're actually a pretty big guy. Stay safe. Please stay the way you are. It's rare these days. Yeah. Shockingly, not that I say that this would mean anything, because if someone's nuts and they come at you with a weapon, it doesn't matter if you're 2 feet tall or 10 feet tall, you know, you're still at risk, okay? But a lot of people are shocked when they meet me in person. They're expecting me to be some, like, short guy or something. I don't know why. I've always told you guys, I'm like 5'11.5" / 6 feet, whatever you want to say. I am a relatively big guy. I'm not huge or anything. But a lot of people get shocked when they meet me in person. They're like, oh my God, it's Darkside Phil. Whoa, I didn't know that, you know, that's not the perception I had of you. I'm like, well, it's because when you see me on stream, you see me sitting here on a couch all day, right? I mean, there's no perspective here. There's no frame of reference of how big I actually am when I'm just sitting in a chair in front of a microphone, right? What you could do, go watch things like Project 7 and stuff like that, where you can actually see me in comparison to the height of other people. And, you know, I was the tallest guy on that show, right? I was taller than Rambo and Howard. But again, not that it means anything, you know, when you got a crazy person coming at you, you know, everyone's at risk. Doesn't matter how big you are, all right? But thank you, Alice. Yes, I did what I thought was due diligence. I said I might as well make a police report. Not that it mattered, because I don't think it's going to affect anything, but at least have it on file so that way if any crazy person ever tries to do something, we got this on file, right? Okay. Lives for Sold at 100-bit cheers says, DSP tries a pistachio frappuccino or maybe a new honey almond milk cold brew. Okay. Then he cheered again. He said, can I get a VIP shout out for being the biggest cheerer this year so far? Yes, in fact. So Lives of Her Soul is the biggest cheerer of the year so far. That is correct. And it's actually Jax Raxer is the top tipper of the year. The top tip is $100, and he's been tipping me pretty big during the Street Fighter streams. And yes, Lives of Her Soul is cumulatively the biggest cheerer of 2021 so far. That is correct. Super Scuba 06 has subscribed for 5 months. He says, what's my most anticipated game of 2021? His is Horizon Forbidden West. See, here's the thing. We don't really know what's coming out in 2021, and that's what makes it hard to say. Like, if I knew definitively that God of War 2, Resident Evil Village, Horizon Forbidden West, and you know what I mean? If I knew all those games were coming out this year, then maybe I'd be able to pick, but we don't know what's actually coming out. Every time I say God of War Ragnarok, people are like, oh, it's not coming out this year. I'm like, so, but I am, like, Horizon Forbidden West, yes, I'm super excited for that. Why? Because I have a PS5, and I get the feeling that game's going to run, like, super good on PS5, and it's probably going to add new gameplay elements that are going to make it a much better game than the first one. I liked the story of the first one, so I'm excited to see the continuation of that plot line. So, yeah, I'm pumped for Horizon Forbidden West, absolutely. Lies Were Sold cheered again. He said you should play Dark Cloud on the PS2, the PS4 section of the PSN store. It's a unique RNG, dungeon, crawler, and city builder. Thanks for the suggestion. Noxyina cheers. Says it took you 5 months to beat Fire Emblem because you played it once a week on your second stream. Of course, it'll take 5 months to beat a 60-hour game when you're only playing 2 hours a week. Actually, the playthrough was over 80 hours long. It was. The playthrough was incredibly long. And, you know, I did do a lot of side content. Did I do all the side content? No. But I did do any of the major missions side missions that I would come across. I did perform them. That they seemed meaningful. But you got to understand, Noxina. Here we go. I am a variety streamer. All right? that means, being a variety streamer, I can't just sit here and say, okay, guys, I'm going to start playing Fire Emblem Three Houses as my main stream every day for 2-3 weeks straight until we get halfway through the game. No, people will go away and never come back. I have to maintain a variety schedule. And I did my best. You know, at first I did play it more. People told me they didn't like it that much. It was kind of a slow-paced, boring game. So I had to basically kind of demote it to the late-night streams, which I would play 2-3 times a week. Then people even complained about that. They wanted variety. So then I demoted it to be even less playing. You know, what do you want me to do? I got to listen to my audience. This is like, back in the day, I never listened to my audience. I did whatever I wanted. And I said, I know better than you. I'm the content creator who's popular, not you. I will do whatever I want. And I got monstrous backlash back in the day. Why are you doing this? You got to listen to suggestions. You got to listen to things for improvement. It's the only way to grow is to listen to your audience. So now I directly listened to my audience during that playthrough. And they said, listen, you can't play this game a lot. It's not a super popular game at this point. It's also super slow paced. A lot of people don't like that. If you're going to play it, fine. We respect that. But you got to put it in as a variety game with everything else. You can't be playing this all the time because of the kind of game it is. So that's exactly how I handled it. I understand there's people who absolutely love that game and that franchise and are sad that it took so long for me to beat it. At the same time, I'm a variety streamer. You're not asking someone who sits there and plays the same game for 3 weeks straight to play this game. So if this is the case, if you think that me playing that game as long as it took to beat it is not satisfactory, then don't ask for it during viewer's choice. Like, you know, this is not rocket science, but this is what I mean. People want to see it, but then they get upset when I can't play it constantly. Well, that's not how I do things. You know, don't ask for an 80-hour game if you're mad that it's going to take a long time to beat it. That's how I roll. Right? Okay, then. Lies for Soul did a 210-bit cheer and said, I'm your biggest fan. All right, Lies for Soul. Well, now you're also my biggest cheer. So let's get you up on the leaderboard here. 210 bits, right? Yes, 210 bits. Cool. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Shout-outs time. Let's give shout-outs to the biggest cheers of the week so far. In 10th place, we got Critical Red 1. In 9th place, actually it's a tie for 8th between Timbo Slice GB and Sir Spartan King. 7th place is Westside Phil. 6th place, Eddie Bot. 5th place, Ultra Vegito. 4th place, Ninstar Rune. 3rd place, Nathan Tools. 2nd place, Rob on Wheels. And in 1st place so far this week, Lice for Soul. Also, thank you to the following people who all get their subscriptions to the channel this week, including Standy Pants, Kate, Ola McLeod7, Eddie Bot, and R. Breezy, who all gifted a single subscription. Angelo Bestia and Marita Lucina, who each gifted 2 subs each. Golden Nobles, who gifted 3 subscriptions. No Couture, who gifted 5 subs. And West Side Phil, who gifted a whopping 169 subscriptions earlier this week, which allowed us to qualify for said upcoming Viewer's Choice event. All right? All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for a good... Oh, hold on. Furious Kirk. Furious Kirk just cheered. Oh, my goodness. So, Furious Kirk cheered and said the following. Hey, Phil, first off, good to see you're safe. Second, since Hitman 3 is once again 6 missions, will you be willing to play the added story missions for Part 2 that you missed to increase the length, especially since that content is 75% off on PSN? This is the end of the trilogy, and Hitman 1 and 2 get upgraded gameplay when you buy Part 3. Also, DLC for Part 1. Not sure if it's on sale. Okay, initially, no. I'm not buying any additional content. I'm not doing any DLCs. I'm going to buy the base game and play the base game and hopefully enjoy the base game. All right? Now, if I'm looking for something to fill time slot, you know, maybe we finished the game relatively quickly and I didn't expect that, and it kind of sucks because I really don't have anything else planned as a main gameplay stream right away, and I wanted to buy some DLCs for the previous games, maybe I would, but no, I'm not sold on doing that. Also, I hate to say it, even though I like Hitman a lot, it's not something that's like super mainstream popular with my viewing audience. The last 2 games when I played them did all right, but there's a lot of people who just think that they're kind of boring. I disagree. I think it's interesting to find the different assassination techniques and things. I think it's super fun, but a lot of people say, do something else. So, you know, I'm definitely playing the base game. We'll play it by ear from there. It's a possibility. It's a consideration, but it's definitely not something I'm committing to buy DLCs and stuff. Okay? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a break. Let's take a short break. I got to use the restroom. And when I come back, it is time for Assassin's Creed Valhalla here on the stream. If you remember, we're in the middle of a very exciting plot line. We chose a new ruler for Lincolnshire, and when we did so, one of the candidates got so pissed off that he didn't get picked that he basically staged a coup. He tried to get these guys to come in and kill us all. We did hold him off, but now we gotta hunt this fucker down. Come to find out he's a part of the Order. So maybe this will lead us to major developments where we can find other Order members and stuff. We'll find out. Okay? Alright, so thank you guys very much. I shall return shortly with Assassin's Creed. I'll see you in a few minutes. In the meantime, grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourselves, whatever you want to do, and I'll see you in just a few. Thank you guys, and see you in a bit.